guys, it's Meg. What's up? What's poppin'? Welcome to the podcast. It was a time known for its elegance, extravagance, light-heartedness, and a dash of rebellion. But what exactly was the Rococo Era? And I did look up how to pronounce it, and it is Rococo. I think this whole season I was pronouncing Rococo, but it's Rococo. And just want to say, this was a Pinterest 2025 trend prediction. It said, and I quote, Rococo revival. I keep wanting to say Rococo. I don't know why. But we're going to skirt before we actually start this episode because I need opinions, please. So either comment on the podcast. I don't know if I can see anyone's comments besides Podbean's comments. But comment on the podcast, or even better, DM me at heyguysitsmeg_podcast on Instagram. The other day when I went to go post last week's episode, I clicked the wrong button and I ended up on the section of the website that tells you what your podcast can be put out on. And every once in a while, I'll go back to the section and I'll see if they added anything new. So that way we're not just on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. Is that even a thing anymore? Audible, iHeartRadio, Podbean. To be honest, I don't even know what I'm on because I just click the buttons and it shoots out the podcast into anything. But the other day I noticed YouTube is now an option, and now I'm like, wait, that would be so fun. There wouldn't be a visual aspect to the podcast just because I literally record in my closet, so I don't think that'd be a good video format, but should we look into adding the podcast on YouTube? Let me know. I want to do more research myself, but I'm thinking maybe on my little month break I usually take between season 11 and season 12, we might end up on YouTube. Just let me know, though, if you think that would be something people would like. Because honestly, I have no clue. I've never personally listened to a podcast on YouTube before. But before we skirt, you know what? Let's cue the back in time music, because you know what? We did not lose that when the computer crashed. So the first source we have is from vam.ac.uk, and the article's called The Rococo Style, an Introduction. And I only pulled 4 bullet points from it because I was a little confused by this website. But they said this was the final expression of the Baroque movement. It first came to France in the 1720s to 1730s as a style developed by craftspeople and designers rather than architects. And it said that it came from the French word rocaille. I should have looked up how to pronounce that, and I didn't. It's Rocaille, and it means rock or broken shell. The second source we're using, which I don't even know if we count these as sources, but I know it's a little controversial, but we use the Google AI overview just because these websites were there was too many words. I'm going to be honest, there was paragraphs on top of paragraphs. And I was like, no. We need the Hey Guys, It's Meg version of Rococo Era. Rococo. I don't know what it is about this word. But it said that this era was from 1720 to 1789 and that the French Revolution interrupted it. For art and design, it said art was highly decorative, often featuring scenes of pleasure and frivolity. I can't read my own handwriting. We're going to move on. Design was characterized by curved, asymmetric ornamentation, natural motifs, and pastel colors. And it said that it was found mostly in furniture, silver, and ceramics. For music, it was light and airy, often one note, with clear melodies and choral accompaniment. I don't think that means one note. I think it's one chord. I went to music school. I should know what that word means, and I don't. I do, but I don't. I don't know how to word it. Hey, what's up? It's Editing Meg, and I realized editing, I never even said the music word, but it just meant the same sound or melody was played by multiple instruments at the same time. And then the second thing I said, it rejected Baroque techniques like counterpoint and polyphony. For fashion, it said it was characterized by pastel colors and light but plentiful ornamentation. It included the robe à la Française in the Empire Regency style. I do have a third source, one that we use often on this page. But before I do that, I wanted to write down, and I forgot. I wanted to know, who, oh, that's not how you spell Rococo. I wanted to look up, popular people during this time. Jean-Antoine Watteau, Francis Boucher. I don't really want, artist. Oh, this person is credited with birth. How do I pronounce his name?
Between Molly leaving and Mom's osteoporosis,
this is awkward.
I thought life was going to slow down. Boy, was I wrong.
Jean-Antoine Watteau.
I was right. Jean-Antoine Watteau. That man was credited for the birth of the Rococo era, not what I was looking up. I thought I said something about Marie Antoinette when I was looking it up, but I can't find her anymore, so we're just going to move on. Because what is our third source? Aesthetics.fandom.com. Round of applause. I literally am obsessed with this website. I love them so much. But they said that the Rococo is a reaction against the Baroque grandeur of Louis the XIV's court at the Palace of Versailles. In contradiction with the Baroque, using pastel colors, lighthearted subjects in paintings and sculptures, and asymmetry in designs. They also gave 3 other names for this style. Pompadour style, Louis XV style, and Regency style. It said the decade of origin was circa 1720. The key motifs are natural motifs such as foliage and shells, putty, I don't know what that is. I decided to look up what putty is, and I never would have guessed this, and I'm probably not even pronouncing it right, but it is those angel cherub babies that are in art. Soft colors, asymmetry, curving and sinuous lines, C and S shaped. I don't know. Every article is talking about C and S shaped things, and I was like, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Love, nature, and lighthearted entertainment. The key color are pastels. So a lot of light blue, light pink, white, and light yellow. The key values, the pursuit of pleasure. That should be the title of the podcast. Rococo Era, the pursuit of pleasure. Oh, that's going to be so good. Editing, Meg, when you're doing this, make sure you make that the title of your podcast. Thank you. So the philosophy is a new wave of romanticism. Here we go again with this word. It means the new idea of finding a soulmate, someone who you love, as opposed to arranged marriages, which were very common during this time. For the architecture, there was fancy, fluid asymmetry. There was curves, scrolls, gilding, and ornaments. Shells, icicles, and rockwork or grotto were found, and there was a lot of foliage and flowers. For art, they had a lot of flowing shapes and pastels. There was romantic subjects. Aristocratic life was portrayed, and a lot of scenes of Greco-Roman mythology. And the designs they used for this era, there was a lot of foliage, like I said, a lot of S and C-shaped things. It said volets. The S and C-shaped volets, they're just those scroll-like designs in architecture. A lot of materials that were used were like oak, birch, gilt, bronze, brass, so many different colored marbles, velvets, and silk. For fashion, men typically wore suits and tricorn hats? I don't know. Women wore gowns, Louis heels. It said fichu, gloves, hand fans, cameos, diamond bracelets, collars, and earrings, lace chokers, and pearl earrings and necklaces. I honestly don't know why I didn't elaborate on anything in this podcast episode, but fichu, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but that is just a scarf or shawl that was worn around the shoulders. Then there was a subgenre called Rococo Chinosieri. I really mispronounce that. We're gonna look this up. I don't want to disrespect them. Chinoiserie. Apparently that's how you say it. Chinoiserie. But this was a Western decorative style of Orientalism popular during the 18th century that was heavily inspired by Chinese arts. And it was blended with the Rococo to make a new movement, a new era, a new style. And it said that the Rococo era was replaced by neoclassicism, but it also keeps coming back every once in a while. It was there for the 18th century, then the 1830s to 1860s. It came back again in the late 2000s, the 2010s, and even the 2020s because of this rise in vintage items. But that is our Rococo era that we keep hearing about this whole entire podcast season. Like, I feel like it kept coming up a few times. So I was like, you know what? Let's look it up. Let's see what it is. And it was pretty interesting, pretty cool. I feel like it was more heavily influenced on the physical art and home design versus the fashion. But it was still fun. But what about you? Did you know about this era? Do you like this era? Are you wondering why I even did a podcast on this? Because honestly, me too. Let me know. So the next time that you hear about the Rococo era, just know it was a time that was meant for fun, a little bit of rebellion, and it seems to keep coming back every once in a while. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Hey Guys, It's Meg. You can follow Hey Guys, It's Meg _podcast on Instagram for updates and good times. Come back next Monday at 9 a.m. where we're going to talk about some St. Patty's history. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts.